stay tuned, guys. Let me know if you guys have any questions. So again, it's your boy Cobe Rising.
It's coming for you, coming for you, It's coming for you, coming for you,
Oh Lord, do not forget the gorillas. Everyone know we the realest, a bunch of go-getters. I bet you can tell I'm the illest. You don't need your fingers to feel it. You know I can straight spit, knock you out with a late hit. Feel like I'm the one, like I'm Neo, but this is the real life, not the Matrix. I'm about to go ape shit.
Ain't no gotta roll out. I know gotta roll out, yeah. I know gotta roll out, yeah. I roll on
Yeah. Y'all see what's going on? Got a little switch up in the background. Yep, we got my IG family in the building. You dig? We got my YouTube family in the building. Shout out to my dog Jabari from the Jabari tribe in the building. You dig what I'm saying? I love it, man. I absolutely love it. Shout out to my dog Gaines. What up? Jabari, what's good? Yeah. You already know what's going on, man. 23 days until Ebony Fit, man. Hey, matter of fact, let me go ahead and let's go ahead and clear the air real quick, y'all. So if y'all didn't know this, shout out to Brittany B in the building, co-host of the show. What's going on, shorty? Just so y'all know, I will be at Ebony Fit from July 25th through July 27th. All right, that's right. So if you guys are unaware, make sure you guys come out to Charlotte, North Carolina. There's going to be something called an Ebony Fit, which will be pretty much a host of different fitness influencers, and they're going to come down and put on the city pretty much. And this is going to be the first time that it's sold out here in Charlotte. So this is going to be a really, really big turnout here. And yeah, so your boy Cobe will be in the building. I will have my CMOS on deck. Speaking of, because y'all know how we rock with the CMOS. So shout out to Queen City Organics. Come out and get your CMOS. Come get the power pack. I'll be partnering with the People's Herbalist, right? From all the way from New York. They're coming down to the Queen City. We have the power pack coming on. So yes, that's right. We're going to have the CMOS and the power pack mixed together. That's going to be the herbs that are going to combine together with the CMOS. That's the ashwagandha. That's the astragalus. That is also the lion's mane. And it's going to be for mental clarity, mental focus when it comes to working out, as well as the oxidative. So that way it'll open up your lungs way so you can increase your stamina as you work out. No matter if you're doing cardio, no matter if you're doing your combat training, or even if you're doing your weights. You dig what I'm saying? So make sure you guys come out to Ebony Fit and follow me on IG at King Alajuwan 21. So I will be posting a lot of my content there on my social media. So that way you guys can keep track and know exactly what is going on, what time to show up. Just make sure you guys free your calendars July 25th through July 27th. It's going to be a turn-up event. It's going to be a turn-up event. Shout out to Brittany. She says, exploring New Orleans. Shout out to New Orleans. Hey, get the money. Get money. Tell me how New Orleans is. Make sure you staying healthy out there and hydrate. So, yes. Anyway, so we're going to get to the next one. Make sure you guys go to the website truehighclarity.com. That's right, True High Clarity. It's how you want to live your life. You want to live your life true, high, with clarity. Shout out to Jabari, man. He says, I'm also cranking up the protein as well. Shout out. Getting that protein up, protein intake. Shout out to Jenny in the building. What's going on, Jenny? How Jabari and SAG, you dig? Shout out to Jabari, man. He says pineapple flavor is hitting. Hey, man, shout out to Jabari. He actually pulled up and got some of that sea moss, man. I'm telling y'all, everybody that tries my sea moss, I'm giving y'all the game. They love it. It's a huge benefit. And let me give y'all some gems real quick. There's so many different archetypes of sea moss, if y'all didn't know. Everybody says, oh, there's purple sea moss, there's Caribbean sea moss, and blah, blah, blah. Listen, it's a science. It's an actual science. There's different types of species of sea moss. I'm going to give you an example. You have Gracilaria. You also have Eucasima cotini. See, these are words that most people probably have not heard of, right? So specifically the one that we use here at Queen City Organics is the Eucasima cotini. And what that means is you still get your minerals, right? But this one's more of the, I'm not going to say gelatin. This is the more jello-ish type. And what that typically means is it's going to be really good also for your skin, right? It's for skin tightening. This sea moss you can take 2 tablespoons of and digest it and still be great. But guess what? You can also use this as a face mask. Take you 2 tablespoons and you can literally put it on your face like a mask. Leave it on for like 5 minutes and then rinse it off with water. Your skin will feel much better. 5 to 10 minutes, leaving it on your face will do wonders for your skin. This is called the Eucasima cotini. You can look it up yourself, right? These are some benefits that you can get from our sea moss. Face mask wise, and you can digest it as well to get those minerals. And make sure you hit the power pack tinctures with it. And I'm telling y'all, this is going to be like a game changer. It's just like if you were to drink coffee, this is without the caffeine though. It's going to get you mentally sharp and get you ready. Shout out to Jenny, says that sea moss hits the spot every day. Shout out to Jenny. She got some of that sea moss too. It's going to be awesome. That's right. It's going to be pure cinema. Hey man, we got a lot to talk. We have a lot to talk about today. You dig? Shout out to my IG family in the building. Shout out to Gaines. He says, had to take a rest day. I was drained. Some days, man, you really got to take a rest. Shout out to Jabari. He says, texture is like applesauce. Hey, see, I told y'all. Shout out to Jenny. She says, can you be a spectator at Ebony Fair? We'll have to see about that. We'll have to see. But yeah, man, so we have a lot to talk about today, man. So we have a lot of topics when it comes to shooting your shot at the gym. People smelling up the gym. First of all, I have not smelled so much trash in the gym. It's been bad this year, y'all. I don't know if it's the heat. I don't know if it's the food. It's a combination of both. I don't know. I personally don't care why it is, but it needs to stop immediately. Oh, it needs to stop. And so I just want to make sure that I want y'all to know we have a special guest coming on the show. That's right, man. So shout out to my dog, Major Mind and Soul in the building. What's up, bro?
Hey, what's going on? How we doing?
Man, bro, you know we doing good, man. That's always good. I'm glad we finally got you on the live, man. I know we've been talking about it, bro. So, yeah, man, it's real good. So just give the people, man, like a 30-second pitch, man, and tell them who you are, what you about, bro.
Yes, sir. So my name is Kendall Chapman. You can see me on Instagram at Major Minded Soul, YouTube Major Minded Soul. I'm a 30-year-old cat living in New England. I do finance for a living, but I'm really big into health and wellness. I've been on a fitness journey for really a couple years, but more specifically about a year. And I've experienced all types of things, all types of growth with nutrition. I'm a very studious person, so I've been studying diet and nutrition heavily for a long time. And yeah, this is just my type of thing. This is what I'm into. So I'm here to work. I appreciate you having me.
Oh, man, you already know, man. Shout out to them Patriots in the building, man. I've been a fan of the Pats, man, since I was a kid, bro, since I started watching football. So, you know, I got a special place. I still need to get up there, bro, because I want to see a live game at the Gillette Stadium. That's actually still on my list to do. So I got to go out there and see him, man. So enjoying my football.
Word.
Yeah, man. For
Too bad we're not winning like we used to.
Oh my god, bro. We're actually this is the worst I've ever seen this team. Like, no cap. I'm like, we're just going through a reset. Honestly, man, every team goes through it at least one time. So, you know, this is just our time to go through it. So we're gonna get through it, man, for sure. Shout out to Jabari, man. He says, any other parts to the skin you can put or just the face? This is for skin tightening. And typically, you know, people want to get skin tightening in the face, right? I would stick to the face. You know what I'm saying? I mean, if you have any other areas that you want to smooth out, you're more than welcome to do that as well, man. Just leave it on for like 5-10 minutes. It'll smooth that thing right out, man. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Game says, gotta wash your ass before and after the gym. Bro, man, I don't know if you all right, so Kendall, I don't even know if you've experienced this, bro, but I go to the gym and I go to different gyms. So you deal with a lot of people. When you see a lot of people, you walk by them and sometimes it can be a little bad. So it's crazy. I don't know if you experienced that before, man, but it's getting crazy, man. It's getting wild.
Yeah, unfortunately, not just at the gym, but even just in daily life, occasionally, in the workplace, you're like, oof, man, you funky, man.
Oh, now that's bad, bro. You got to be somewhere 8 hours. You got to smell somebody's funk. Oh, Lord, no. Yeah, that's a no-go. Shout out Jenny says, facts. I do that even as a girl. This 85% humidity is hard. Honestly, I think girls, I don't know, man. Shout out to Jenny. I'm gonna just say this first and foremost. You're doing good because you would think the girls would be the ones taking a shower, but sometimes them be the worst ones, boy. Woo!
That's a gem. That's a gem.
I
hate to say it, I love my ladies, but you'd be surprised. They'd be surprised how dirty they can be sometimes. Unfortunately.
No, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. I'm just like, yo, I work at a bar on the weekends, man, and you have to go to the bathroom some of these times where like you have to check and see like who's in there right at the end of the night, man. And bro, some of the girls' bathrooms be just atrocious, bro. I'm just like, there's no way. Because like how I grew up, man, you didn't even know if a lady used the restroom and like smell it up, because when you go right behind them, it's just like doesn't smell bad. That's how it used to be, right? But nowadays, man, I'm just like, you would think it's a guy's bathroom the way it's just trashed up and just, oh, Lord have mercy. It's crazy out here, man. Jesus Christ. Shout out my dog Brown Baldy in the building. Someone stank at the gym. Brother, ew. What is that? What is that, bro? Listen, we're going to talk about it, man. I got some clips for this, dog. I got clips for days when it comes to people smelling like straight funk. Funktacious. Oh, it's terrible. Shout out to Gay. He says facts. Shout out to Sheena. Man, I'm telling Sheena, this girl, listen, I got two stories. There's a guy, and it's bad when someone walks in the gym and everybody looks and they just be like, man, I hope he don't just walk near me, man, because we already know it's you. It's you. Because every time you do back and you have to pull the lat pull down, your arms go up, man, it's bad when other people talk about you when you like are semi not close, but like they don't say your name, but they be like, man, people just gotta take a shower and they just keep walking like that. That's the type of stuff that people say in the gym, but we all know who they talking about, man. Oh, it's terrible, man.
Keep the stink away from me, man.
Oh my God, bro, man. Yeah, I'm gonna have to show this video for sure. Shout out to Jabari, man. He says, I work in the elements and I go home, take a cold shower, and then go to the gym. All right, so we're gonna pull this clip up real quick because this girl actually talks about it. She's actually a first-time gym goer, so she is not she doesn't have any expectations. So she's just trying to go work out, and she notices things, right? So this is coming from someone who has like no idea. So that's how she's being honest about this situation. But anyway, so let me share my screen real quick. If you guys can hear it in the comment section, let me know with a thumbs up, and we're gonna get to this work. Let's get to it. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Give me a thumbs up in the comment section. Shout out to 83 Chuck in the building. What's going on? Shout out to my dog in the building. What's going on, fam? All right, let's get going.
I started going to the gym, so I don't really know gym etiquette. What I can say though is if you know your Suma squad, Bulgaria squad, what the fuck? You smell that ass. You the closest person to you. You could have did back day, arms, biceps, triceps, triceps, traps, scraps, anything else, but busting that boot, stinking ass open like that. Now, I don't know much about the gym. I'm just now coming into y'all world. But I know y'all last ain't supposed to be stinking like that up in the damn gym. Nah, I do know that. Y'all just in there doing any goddamn thing. The fuck? Then I want my one goddamn boy. He was lifting so goddamn heavy. He lifted the goddamn bob. He put the fart. Nigga, put that shit down.
Oh no. Absolutely not.
I said, we get the fuck up out of here before he chill himself.
Oh my goodness gracious. I can't. I just can't, man. Oh my Lord. What do you got to say about this, man? What do you got to say?
First of all, that's hilarious. Listen,
Shout out to her,
you
man.
hit it. I gotta be honest. Sometimes though, you hit a deep squat, you might let one out. It get like that sometimes,
Hey,
bro.
you ain't lying, bro. That's how you know you low key pushing it, man. Like, you know, when you get that squat and that thing slip out, it's like, God damn, I hope anybody
For real. But it's funny because I haven't used deodorant in probably like 3 years, something like that. Two,
Really?
3 years. Yeah. I stopped using deodorant, and it's I got into what makes people smell, like what I do we stink in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
And it obviously it's mostly diet, it's mostly nutrition and hydration. But a lot of the stuff that we put topically on our skin and in our armpits and stuff like that, it
Yeah.
brings out bad odors. But if you're stinking it up in the gym, you got some serious issues.
Yo, that's bad.
You got some serious issues.
That's crazy that you said that, man. So at one point, right, and I'm still kind of on that way, but I do something different. So I use deodorant, but I use the one that has 0 aluminum in it, right? So aluminum-free deodorant over here. But I've noticed when I started doing this thing called liquid chlorophyll. If y'all didn't know about this, go look it up. You can do liquid chlorophyll, and you can even use like rosemary soap. Long story short, when I did liquid chlorophyll, you do a couple drops in water every day. Man, this thing will clean you out. Like literally, when I mean clean you out, this is what I mean. It's when you drink the water, you can literally feel how strong it is go through your entire body. And what it's doing is it's pretty much detoxing it to where you really don't even need to use deodorant at all. It will clean you from the inside. So as like you just said, some of the stuff we put on our body, that's just when we start to sweat, you start to smell things, right? I noticed it too, because when people eat certain foods, you can even smell that. I'm gonna give you a perfect example. I'm mostly plant-based. So it's rare that I eat meat and it's rare that I eat dairy. And I've seen so many benefits from that. One of them has been my senses. So now, whenever I go to the gym, I remember one time when I was like just on my like super like vegan, alkaline vegan diet, right? And I seen one of my homeboys in there. I'm like, yo, what's good, man? And he was like, what's up? Bro, when I tell you he smelled like straight up old bacon and like you ever smelled an old hamburger and like in the heat, like just with no season, like just barely cooked, like just that raw stank, bro. But it was coming out of his pores because he was sweat, bro. I'm not even listen. I would not tell this story if it did not happen. Like real talk, it was crazy. I'm like, damn, you could smell the bacon, bro. It literally smelled like a pig. Like I'm not joking. It kind of messed me up because like low key, I'm like, damn. Has he always smelled like this? Like, because I never really knew. But when I started going like plant-based, I was just really sensitive to people's smells and like what they actually was eating. And I'm like, damn, I know this guy eats like meat all day, right? I mean, pause no diddy, but you could actually smell it out of his pores. And I remember a long time ago, my dad was best friends with this Jamaican guy. And so, back then what they did, they barely eat meat too. But whenever people would come from America to Jamaica, Jamaicans would know if you're American based on what you smell like. So he said every time people would come from America to Jamaica, he would say, "Oh, I know you're American." He said, "You smell like a pig." So he would say that, but we would laugh. But I'm older now, right? So when I heard this, I was like 8 years old. And now I'm like, yo, that guy made some sense because you can actually smell this. And it's because of what people eat. Think about it, if they're drinking and just all these different things inside of your body that people don't think about. And if you're not cognizant of it or have a sensitive nose to it, we're pretty much smell death is what I call it. You don't know what smells good or bad until you really detox yourself about that.
Yeah, that's interesting what you talk about when it comes to senses.
Shout out
I
to
have never gone full plant-based. I did try doing mostly an alkaline diet before,
Okay,
but I've always eaten meat. I tried to eat clean meats, that's for sure.
for sure.
One thing that I learned as well when it comes to BO is, and it makes sense what you were saying about Jamaicans knowing what American smells like, because we eat so much food that is hard to digest. And what you find out is a lot of people, I forgot who I heard this from, that turned it we're full of shit. Because what happens is we'll eat something that takes ages to digest, and people don't realize that. Like, not to get too nasty, but
Hard.
let's just say that we should be going to the bathroom and doing number two more often than people realize. A lot of people only do that 2, 3, 4 times a week when you should be doing it once or twice a
If that,
day.
yeah,
If not, yeah, I was gonna say if not,
that, bro.
every 5, 6 hours after you eat. So
Oh,
at the
goodness.
end of the day, people are so backed up with literal shit that it's coming out of their pores. So when you say someone smells like it,
That's
yeah, they
exactly
literally
what you
do.
felt. You smelling
Yeah.
old food that never really got broke down, and waste is sitting in your stomach, and it's seeping out your pores. Whoo.
Yep. And I think that's why fasting is good for people. Works out a lot, because what happens is they give their body just extra time to get that all out. And a lot of people's guts, a lot of the gut fat, it's not even fat. It's just old food and old
Oh,
waste that just needs to get moved out. And some people do like juice detox, or they do like roots and things like that to really flush out their system, and
right.
it's really just the digestive tract. So the BO thing makes total sense, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Oh my god, bro, you was dropping bars. Oh my goodness, bro. It's that old food that's just sitting, darling. People don't think about these detoxes when they go through these detoxes, like a real detox, not these detox teas that people talk about. I'm talking about a real one. Get you a real fast out the way. And man, you'd be surprised when all that food breaks down and like literally you can get it out. Oh, it's terrible, man. Good lord. Let's get to these comments, man. Let me see what these people talking about. I know they over there wilding right now. Shout out to Brown Body. He says, I used to work in the restaurant industry, and yes, the women's restrooms, I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. Bro, listen, you got to think about the bathroom. You got to think about them using the bathroom, both ends. You got to think about people. I worked in the bar, so you got some throw up in there too. Granted, you got to think about their periods. You got to think about all that stuff, bro. And I don't even want to think about it, man. But it's a real thing, though. It's a real thing. Shout out to Gang says, it's our food, man. Shit be throwing women's pH balance off. That's another thing to be smelling up in there, especially that sugar. Shout out to Shada. She says, what pisses me off is people smell themselves first. That's my thing. How you walk out the house knowing that what you smell like, and you still just gonna come out here to the gym? Like in my gym bag, I literally carry a stick of deodorant. I just don't play. I will not. I refuse to go out and just smell bad. I can't do it. I can't do it, man. It's terrible. Shout out to Brown Bart. He says, SAG, those crab balls and them crab legs, man. Listen, especially in the heat, y'all. The crab. Oh, I see you up. See you up there up top. So y'all don't y'all eat like clam and crabs and lobsters and stuff?
Yeah, I don't eat shellfish, but that is very common up here. Crab, lobster in particular. People love lobster up here. And yeah, a lot of oysters and clam and stuff like that. Yeah, that stuff does not
Especially
do you any good in this topic.
especially when in the summertime too, and that stuff get the boiling and rub. Oh, yeah, you already know how they go. Shout out to Jenny. She says the consistent part of your diet should be the pineapple. If you know, you know. Jenny know what's going on out there. You dig? She trying to put y'all men's on some game.
I don't even be talking. I never really do the money talk.
That's real. Oh, let me see what else she got. Shout out to Gang. He says, "You stupid, bro." Hey, man, I'm being real, dog. Shout out to Brown Body. He says, "Hey, Jenny, this is a family show." Hey, man, listen, Jenny just letting y'all know what's going on. She said, look, if y'all want to have a family, make sure you get that pineapple in. Shout out to Gaze. He over there rolling. Jenny says, all rats, this is a fitness podcast. Hey, listen, we talk about fitness, but you got to be clean too now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, fitness, that can lead to other things too, you know, if you're doing it the right way, if you know what I mean. Shout out to Gaze, man. He says, strike 3, you're out, Jenny. I'll arrest myself for that one. She put herself in jail. Shout out to Shada. She says, I know they smell themselves. That's so crazy. Yo, and see, that's the thing, man. Like, think about when you do these hip thrusts. Ladies, if y'all doing hip thrusts, y'all know y'all smelling that. Come on now. Y'all got, yeah. You feel the heat come up, you get a whiff. Like, you go to the restroom, you get a whiff. Come on now, y'all. It's crazy. Look, Jenny, he pulled the cop car out. He arrested Jenny. Shout out to Gabe. He says, got to be careful with that garlic. I was eating it on a regular, and it started coming out of my pores. Had to lay off. That garlic, that's a different one too now. Shout out to boy, man. He says, oh, man, that's what they say to watch what you're eating. Uh-oh. You dig? Shout out to my IG family. What's going on, Unc? Got my uncle in the building. Shout out to Tanya in the building. What's going on, Nay? Man, we got a lot, man. I don't know if I'm going to be getting all these comments on. We got a few more, though. All right. Shout out to Brown Ball. He says, Jamaicans tell smelly Americans, relax yourself, man. Relax yourself. Shout out to Gaines. He says, yes, see, we don't have no filter. We tell it like it is. Okay, I see you. Shout out to boy. He says, what fast would be good to do if you have an active life? Okay, cool. You wanna go on that one?
An active life? I mean, I would say a water fast is good. You could even do something like if you want to go to juices like melons, if you want to juice those and do that type of fast. I'll be honest, when I fast, I do it raw, like dry, and I just deal with it. So when I fast, I do a dry fast, nothing, just absolutely nothing.
That's what I was
and I do that. Yep, absolutely nothing. I'll do that for 24 to 48 hours. Sometimes what I might do if it's a longer one is I'll take like some Himalayan salt and put that in my tongue. Help get the sodium up, but I'll just do a straight dry fast. But it all comes down to what your goal is. If you're trying to move bowels, if you're trying to just get some stuff moving, that's one thing. If you're trying to lose weight, that's another thing. So it really comes down to what your goal is and how long you can do it for. But water fast or juice fast is good for me.
That, bro, I'm glad you said that, man. And I want to just piggyback on what you said, because the real fast is what you just said. I guess we call it dry fast, right? Just don't eat nothing. Like, don't do anything. Occasional water if you're tired, but I mean, just try not to even, just try to go cold turkey, right? And I was actually talking to Adonis this past weekend. Shout out to Adonis. He was doing the same thing, right? But he, instead of using Himalayan salt, he said he uses nutritional yeast, and he'll eat that. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I was just like, yo, that's how you do a fast. Now, when I did my fast, I did alkaline plant-based fast, right? And so it was just a food list that you go through. Straight alkaline meals, right? Nothing else. Like, I'm gonna tell you the truth, broccoli is not even alkaline according to the list. So it's only vegetables that are on that list, and the fruit that you can do is specific. Not even bananas. It's a certain type of banana that you have to eat. So it's a very strict food list, right? So it just cuts out the hybrid, it cuts out the GMO. Like, you literally have to do your research. Right. And honestly, that was probably the most clean I've ever felt too. Now, me personally, I went back to eating like seafood, but that's a cheat meal. So most of the time my diet will be is going to be vegetables, like lentils. It's going to be chickpeas. It's going to be even brown rice sometimes, but mostly it's going to be like quinoa, right? For my grains. And then just vegetables, right? Like, my carrots, cauliflower. I'm doing green beans recently. I even started doing raw greens like Brussels sprouts and spinach. I don't even cook them. I just eat them just straight out the pack. But I use a certain
raw Brussels sprouts is new to me. I've never heard that.
Bro, it's actually better. Like, how you cook Brussels sprouts and it just smells like it smells bad, right? Bro, eating them raw, you don't smell anything, bro. It's completely different. And it's interesting too. So it sits on your stomach. And I use this lemon herb tahini dressing. It's just 3 ingredients. It's just garlic herb, it's tahini, so it's sesame seed paste, and lemon. And that's literally the only dressing I use. And I put that on my, if I'm not using spinach, I'll use arugula. So arugula, raw Brussels sprouts, it's 94 calories, man, and it fills you up. It's absolutely out of this world. So if anybody's wanting to cut, that's a good cut meal that they can try. I actually put a few of my followers on, so they call it the Cobe special. So chickpeas, lentils, get your vegetables in there, maybe a little quinoa. So yeah, they own.
Chickpeas is a great one. I eat chickpeas quite often. How do you feel about kale?
I eat kale. I like kale.
Word.
I was actually put on to dinosaur kale before I even knew about real kale. So I was eating dinosaur kale, and I had I used to make that with a salad. So what I did was I used cashews, dried cranberries like craisins, and I mixed that in with just a little bit of olive oil, and just stirred it up, and it made it very sweet with the dinosaur kale. Just chopped it up. Yo, that was a really good salad, man. It did wonders. So I like kale. Absolutely. I even do that in my soups, like my lentil soups. I'll put that in my Instapot. Just what I did sweet potatoes. So I chopped up some sweet potatoes, chopped up some kale, put the vegetable stock in there, and then I did just my seasonings, just basic, pink salt, a little bit of pepper, and then I used lentils. There we go, to make it thicker. Right, this was in the wintertime. So yeah, it was a good hearty protein meal that had no meat, no dairy. Like, it was solid.
That's amazing.
Yeah, man. So I hope that did answer your question, Jabari. What was you about to say?
Nothing. I was just gonna say a lot of my meals, because I truly do believe in balance, and I really do think that having a plant-based diet, even if it's not plants only, but a plant-based diet is really valuable. I really do. You have people that are on both sides. Like, you have people all the way on the carnivore side. You have people that are all the way on the vegan side. I would say I'm a little bit more toward the plant-based than the carnivore side.
Yeah.
So a lot of times what I'll do is, like, for example, one of my favorite meals is chickpeas, brown rice, lots of turmeric with coconut, like coconut shavings. Yeah, coconut shavings cooked in coconut cream with kale in it. And then what I'll do for added protein, even though chickpeas has got plenty of protein, is I'll take a piece of like wild caught, clean, like haddock or halibut. So really clean white fish, and I'll just throw that on top of it. And that's how I kind of blend the two. But the meal itself, like when the fish is gone, you still got plenty of the other stuff, and I'll just eat the rice and chickpeas by itself, because that's a meal on its own. So I really agree with that side of things for sure.
You know what's crazy, man? We actually eat damn near similar. Like, that's literally a meal that I would eat. And so I'm in this very same boat. So our thing over here is we do mostly plant-based diet. And pretty much what that means is your 6 ounces of whatever meat you want, whether it's chicken, steak, fish, make sure it's clean. 6 ounces is all you need for your protein. The rest of it, good healthy grains, good healthy greens, whole fruits, whole vegetables. It's literally just that, right? And so that's something that I would eat. And I'm gonna tell y'all something right now. You see how jacked this brother is. If he's eating that, y'all ain't got no excuse. You dig what I'm saying? So the result is in the pudding. This man got the boxing thing in the background. He got the weights back there. So he getting it in, y'all. So I don't want to hear nobody say, oh, well, I can't do plant-based. Man, you know how many calories you can eat and how much protein you can get from this type of meal. What he just said, I guarantee you, y'all, that's 50 grams of protein. Think about it. 24 grams is probably in the chickpeas. I know it is, matter of fact, because I eat it every day. And then that one slab of halibut, if y'all don't know what halibut is, a big white fish. I guarantee you that's about 26 grams of protein just in that one fish. Add them two together, you do the math. That's your macros. And I'm going to tell you like this, the calorie count is not like what y'all think it is. That is probably a calorie count of maybe 600 at best. So I'm telling y'all, if you want to cut the weight but still be cut, a meal like that, always on the go. So I got so Kendra, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play this video first, and then I'm gonna bring you on to the IG after the video, right? So I'm gonna bring her on. She's gonna be on the IG, so you won't be able to see it, but you'll be able to hear it. All right. Now, this next one is gonna be actually a tricky one, y'all. So I don't know if y'all been seeing there's a girl that talks about people who lift weights. And so people who lift weights, meaning this, she talks about bodybuilders. She talks about how people look at how cut bodybuilders are. And if they look on IG and just different social media, they just scroll and they see how fit these people are, right? And so what she's bringing a balance to is sometimes being super fit looking like that is not always the healthiest for you, but there's a twist in the end. So I'm gonna play this video and y'all let me know if you guys hear it in the comment section. I'm just gonna play it real quick and then we'll get to the comments after that. And I'm gonna bring Kendra on. I gotta play the video first. I'm gonna bring you on. All right, but anyway, so let me know if you guys can hear it in the comment section. Let me bring it on. Oh, here it is. Perfect. All right, here we go. Let me know if you guys can hear it. Just give me a thumbs up if you guys can hear it in the comment section. Here we go.
Y'all have conditioned yourselves to believe that bodybuilders that are in prep or fitness influencers whose job is to keep a phenomenal physique, by the way, y'all are conditioning yourselves to think that's normal. It's not normal to have abs, go to the gym several times a week, revolve your entire life around the gym, look shredded all the time. You've built your algorithm to scroll amongst less than 1% of the population who's really jacked and shredded. People in the normal, like the average of the bell curve, don't look like that. So stop fucking comparing yourself to fitness influencers and creators whose job is to look that good. If I sat here and told you what I look like on stage and what I look like now, and you thought this was objectively healthier because I'm a little bit more shredded, what if I told you I had no period? What if I told you my hormones and my lab work came back really bad after my first show? What if I told you that maintaining that was extremely unhealthy? And right now at 210, I am the healthiest, most athletic, most powerful, the strongest I've ever been. Hormonally, all of my markers are the best they've ever been. But some of y'all will think I let myself go. And that's a you problem because you've brainwashed yourself to think that a fit body cannot look like this, that a fit body cannot look like anything other than someone who's in prep or just outside of prep. The body that you can healthily maintain is your healthiest body.
Okay. I think she made some valid points, you know, and we'll definitely talk about that. I'm gonna bring on Kendra real quick. Well, she already going in. Hold on, I'm gonna bring you on, girl. Hold on. I'm about to pull you in on the IG. Yeah, man. Yeah. So she had a lot to say on that. She had a lot to say. I actually have a few topics on it. There's some things that I actually agree with her on. There's also some things that I think people need clarity on. So so just the background for me. So for y'all that didn't know, I actually do bodybuilding shows. I do physique shows though, right? So physique shows, they look and see how cut you are. There's also shows that women can do. Women do different shows too. Like I'm gonna go over the men categories and I'll go over the women's categories. So the men categories, you have physique, you have classic physique, which is what Arnold Schwarzenegger did, and then you have the bodybuilding category. So each category looks for different things. Physique is more how lean you are. Classic physique is more like how lean you are, but with some size to you. Bodybuilding is more about the big bulky joint, still cut, but you know what I'm saying, like you jacked, you yoked up. And then same thing with the ladies. The ladies, you have like figure, you have bikini, beach bikini, and you have fitness. So these are the different ones that you have for ladies. I'm not sure why it's in. I've accepted you in on it, Kendra. So I'm not sure why it's not pulling you in. So anyway, while we're pulling you in, so what do you think about this, Kendall? I'm curious to know your thoughts about that.
I love what she said. It took me back to a conversation I had with someone I work with, who's super into fitness. But I guess I train a little harder than him. He's impressed with my physique, and he asked me how lean I was. So I'm roughly like 18 to 20% body fat. And he's like, no way, you can't be 18 to 20% body fat. I'm like, yeah, bro. He's like, if you're 18, 20%, then I'm like 30. I'm like, so? But you don't have to be. He's like, you don't have to be as lean as you think you are. You see a lot of influencers that are 10% body fat, 12% body. You don't have to be that lean. Like, sure, if you can be that lean healthily, that's totally fine.
Right.
But somebody with my physique, I'm not 10%, 12% body fat. No way. And like she said in the video, I'm stronger at this weight. I'm athletic at this weight. I'm bigger at this weight without spilling over into having fat. And so I think that what's the word I'm looking for? Cognitive dissonance as far as how much we think we have to be lean when it's not truly the case does have to be addressed. It really does. And one other thing I thought was funny too is because I bulked up, right? I'm in the 170s right now. I'm about 175 pounds. I used to be 140 pounds like a year ago. And before that, I was like 120 pounds like years ago.
So
when somebody asked me
what's your height, just so we know like what the
I'm just over 5'10". So I'm like 5'10", 5'11".
Gotcha.
So somebody asked me like, when are you gonna cut? I'm like, I'm not really gonna cut. I got to a place where I'm comfortable. I might up my cardio for a while and lay off the heavy weights for a while. Maybe by default I'll drop a few pounds, but I don't. The bulking, the cutting, unless you're competing.
Right.
Being obsessed with your body fat percentage, it's not necessary. I just don't think it's necessary.
Yeah.
It's not. You're right.
Go ahead.
You're absolutely right.
Can you hear her, Kendall?
I can hear her. Yeah.
Right, cool. All right, go ahead.
But, okay, so coming from a woman who was at 19% body fat.
Oh Lord.
As a woman that was at 19% body fat. That is drastically different between a man that's at 19% body fat. Completely different.
Right.
Okay. And I'm gonna flip the camera so you guys can see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
19% body fat as a woman.
She was ripped, by the way. She ran track, so this is the background for y'all that didn't know. So
19% body fat. I was at 19% body fat, and I was not competing.
By the way, she was stacked, so don't let her fool y'all. Even at 19% body fat. Go ahead.
I was not competing.
Okay.
At all. So when men come up to me and be like, "Oh, well, why did you have your body percent fat so low?" Because I wanted to see what I could do. I wanted to see what my limit was.
Right.
And it wasn't because I was training for something in particular. I had a lot of people that were reaching out to me saying, "Hey, you should compete. You should compete. You should compete." I didn't want to compete because I knew what it took to compete and where I was already. If I were to compete, I would have either one of two things would have happened. I would win.
Okay.
And number two is I would lose who I
Talk
was
that
as
talk.
a person because I wasn't able to eat and be and do whatever I wanted to do. Even with me looking like this, I was still eating Chick-fil-A.
Right.
I was still eating whatever I wanted to. I was eating whatever I wanted. So at the end of the day, the discipline that comes with it also has a lot to do with the gym.
Correct.
You can push yourself. So this is one thing I tell people. I bring this up to everybody. There is a thing called the Twinkie diet.
The Twinkie diet. That's a real. Is that a real thing, or are you just saying that?
Yeah.
It is a real thing.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead. I'm gonna pull this up while y'all saying that. All right, let me see. Twinkie diet.
The Twinkie diet was this man doing a scientific study on do I have to eat healthy or do I only have to burn more calories than I eat throughout the day?
Y'all just put me on. This is actually a real thing.
And the thing was, he was eating Twinkies, fried Twinkies, any type of way he was eating Twinkies. He was eating Twinkies, any type of way. But because he was burning more calories than he was eating, even though he was only eating Twinkies, he still lost weight and still got fit. So the science behind that thought process is, as long as you are burning more calories than you are consuming, you will lose weight. Now, will it be healthy? Now, will it be healthy? Now,
it's definitely not.
Will it be healthy? Probably not.
Yeah, definitely
but
not.
You will still lose weight.
I will say
you will still lose weight.
Well, no, I'm not. What I'm saying is, I'm actually reading it. Like I pulled it up on Google, and so what they're saying in conclusion, right? Because they're obviously they went through something, and of course, there's a guy that did it. Now, would I recommend everybody doing it? Would everybody lose weight? No, maybe not, right? Not. And so, So right. So here's the thing. So what they said was, here's some evidence for it. There's no actual scientific evidence to support the claim of it, but in fact, it is considered an unhealthy and potential dangerous diet, right? And because what it lacks in fruits, vegetables, whole greens, and lean protein.
In the nutrients that your body needs to actually
Correct. And it also has a feeling of deprivation and guilt as it restricts a wide variety of healthy foods. So all that story short is concluded, and this is from what it's stated based on the facts. It's extremely unhealthy. It's a fad diet, and it probably should be avoided. And it is not sustainable or effective way to lose weight and improve health, which is why I'm actually glad you brought this up. So similar to what this lady said, right? I agree that can everybody go and do a bodybuilding show and be absolutely healthy for an extended period of time? I will definitely say, in short, right? In short, you can do it. Long term, no, because the process of it is you're supposed to dehydrate. We know how unhealthy it is to dehydrate for an extended period of time. It's not good. Correct, right? And so the reason why I'm saying it is just because for bodybuilding, you're supposed to dry yourself out for maybe a couple days before the show. The reason for that is because it helps your muscles show that much better. But you got to understand, when it comes to bodybuilding, percentages of fat means a lot. So it's a big difference between someone being 9% body fat to 4%. It's a big difference between who's going to win first place and who's not going to win. And that's
the difference between male and female.
There is, and we can get into that too, because there are some nuances with that as well. And I guess the main thing that she was saying, so this is coming from someone who actually works out. So the girl in the video actually does bodybuilding. She does shows, meaning she does like fitness shows, and girls typically can get down to like maybe 5% or so body fat or etc. Right? And she can go and fluctuate her weight from up to down, right? So what I'm saying is, in order for you to do that, you have to have a background in working out, meaning you have to be doing it for an extended period of time to be able to add the weight on, cut the weight for an extended period of time, leave it off for a while, and then gain it back to where you know what is a comfortable medium, right? And the reason why I'm saying that is because she works out enough to know what to eat, what not to eat, to get her to a certain length, right? Now, let's bring it back to average people. An average person, I want them to know that an average person is different from someone who actually works out. They can fluctuate their weight like that. So when she says something like, I can look and have a little bit of rolls and still be healthy, she can. The average person can't do that. They cannot do that. So if the average person listens, if she has rolls and says she's healthy, the average person may look at themselves like, well, I have rolls, so maybe I don't have to look like that fitness either, right? I don't have to have a six-pack. But they don't realize that she's coming from a place of actually having to get to a six-pack, and she can get to a six-pack. And an average person probably hasn't got one. And it's difficult for them to get one because they don't have that background or they don't have that training aspect of it. So they'll take that information and give themselves a reason, because we know what average people do. They'll find a way to not have to work as much as they should. And so I want to give people the nuance to say, I want them to listen to what she said. She may be speaking truth to a specific demographic, but to the average person, they can't do or can't say what she's doing because they're in two different leagues. The average person actually does need to work out. The average person actually should drop body fat percentage. They should drop the weight to get into a healthy weight for themselves on average. Now, can you drop the weight and have a six-pack? You don't have to, as long as you're in a healthy weight for your height, because it does matter. Girls, typically, they are going to have higher fat percentages than guys. That's a natural thing because that's how you're designed. Ladies have fat in certain areas because you have kids. So you're going to have fat in areas that men don't. Men typically have fat around their neck down to their stomach. That's why you have 30, 40-year-olds with the beer gut with the skinny jeans. I can't stand that shit, bro. Why you 40 years old wearing skinny jeans, have a fucking gut? That shit don't make no sense. Like, for real. And then the ladies, they get it more so in their tricep area, their hips, thigh area, and just the love handle section. And again,
I'll say this.
Go ahead.
Our hormone areas are our face here. It's gonna be the back of our arms. It's gonna be under our boobs. Our side areas here. It's gonna be also in our lower abdomen, in our abdomen areas. It's also gonna be in our thighs and our hips. Our hormones are literally all over our bodies. Our hormones are there to help cushion a baby.
Right, for your kids. Correct. So, but essentially, yes, that's what I mean. So, there is a good balance of fat percentage. I think as long as your BMI is within the average range, that's where your fat percentage should be based on your height to your weight preference. And of course, fat loss, that's subjective. That depends on what you want. You can get and fluctuate fat loss based on what you eat, right? And of course, how you work out too. But long story short, I think she has a point to a certain demographic. The average person, I don't think they should take that into consideration unless they have nuance to it. They shouldn't use that as an excuse not to work out. I totally disagree with that. I think they have to have the mindset to be healthy, regardless of what she's saying. What she says may be true, but to the average person, they definitely should work on losing fat percentage. They also should be working on losing the weight to get to the weight to the correct BMI level at least. And then from there, you can fluctuate. Just like you said, Kendall, you knew what you were trying to do. You were trying to bulk, but you have a fitness background, meaning you have an extended period of time of working out. So you know kind of what you're doing with that. And you can still be healthy and run and etc. So, yeah. I'm glad you brought that up, though, Kendra, because that was right on time. Yeah, so I like that. Let's get these comments.
I wanted to say too, if my memory serves me correctly, 70% of America is overweight and 40, 50 is obese.
Yeah.
So when you say the average person should lose weight or the average person should get fit, it's a necessity. It's an absolute necessity.
There you go.
The problem, and I think what the video was saying is people think healthy is IG. People think healthy is low teens percentage. It's like, no, you're like 10 pounds, 20 pounds away. You're 20 pounds away from healthy. That person's 50 pounds away. You never need to go there. And people get caught up and they say, oh, this is why people don't go to the gym or don't go hard in the gym, because they think they have to do too much. They think, oh, I don't want to go on a diet. I don't want to work out that much. Women will say, oh, but then I'll get bulky. If I start lifting weights, I'll start looking like a man and I'll start looking muscular. It's like, none of this is true. You need to do like 20, 30 minutes of solid exercise, lift some weights for your bones, break a sweat multiple days a week, and eat right. And you're gonna shave off all the excess fat, and you're gonna look like we did in 1970, where there just weren't many overweight people at all. It just wasn't a thing. Honestly, even when I was a kid, I was born in '94. When I was a kid, I did not see this many overweight people. I looked up a few years ago and went, "What the hell? I'm the only skinny one in here." Like, when did this happen? When did this happen?
Bro, hey, well, you know what's funny? There's actually studies that show when it, actually started to get like that. Back in the 60s, it was good, but it started to just that weight started to trickle up too. That's what the studies show.
So that's the misconception with most people is there. So if you go back to 1930s, where America is getting established and everyone's kind of like coming in together. Like and this is when segregation, racism, all this bullshit is there, right? So if you have a lot of people that are in segregation and you have people that are enslaved and all this bullshit, right? And you have the people that are working in the fields that look good as fuck. And then you have other people that are not necessarily doing the same exact thing. And they're becoming overweight. When we integrated, it's like you see all these black people with great dresses on. Everything's fabulous about them. They look good. Their hair is good. Everything about them. They have prioritized their health over the past centuries. Because we've been in the fields, we've been working, we've been doing all these other things, and then you have the other. This could be a conspiracy, okay? This is a conspiracy. Don't take what I'm saying like serious. Please don't take it serious, okay? Just take it as like a conspiracy. So think about it. We've been working for X amount of years, over and over and over and over and over again, and then now now we're able to express ourselves and the capacity that's healthy. So let's say now you have the same community trying to jump over and say, hey, let's intertwine, right? And you've been sitting on your ass for the past 400 years. What do you think is going to happen to you over the past 400 years after you've been sitting on your ass and not working, not exercising, not doing anything to kind of benefit yourself as a human being? Over the past 400 years, what has this particular group have been doing? What have they been doing? They've been working in the field. They've been picking up shit. They've been
outside.
They've been doing a whole bunch of other high exercise level type of stuff. And then now you want to come in and say, hey, well, why do you look good? We've been working out
all day, every day.
400 fucking years, and it's been passed down in our genetics, which is why you would stereotypically hear Black people have great genetics when it comes to exercise, when it comes to basketball, football, that's where that comes from. Because we've been exercising this entire time when they've been sitting on their ass. So that's just my thought process. I don't know. I could be completely wrong. That's what I said. It's compared to take with the grain of salt.
I will add in there this too. I think there's some truth to it, just because, like, think about if you're just all day outside working out in the heat. First of all, Black people, we need more sunlight than anything. So we were getting way more sunlight back then, which is going to give us way better health standard. That's the fact too. And when you're working out like that, eating healthy, there was no GMO food back then. So you were probably getting the actual nutrients that your body really needs. So when you think about that and consider, or at least put that into play, I would bear the difference. We was probably, in a pretty decent, healthy shape then. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will also say this. It was doing pretty good up until, like what I was saying, around the 60s, it started to go up. And the reason why I said that is because there was a rapid growth in a health expenditure when it comes to GDP. So this is coming from the gross domestic product, and this is also going to include GMO foods. They started to increase that at a higher rate. There were larger shares being in manufacturing. They were wholesaling a lot of this stuff. We were in the industrial age at the time too. So you started to see different foods, like cereal started to get promoted, which is, we know, GMO, and it started to get into what we call the food industry. Think about when McDonald's started. Then you got to think about the mass production of something called fast foods. Then it started to creep up from the 1950s. Now let's go ahead and fast forward to 2009. You got to think about the increase in all of these different things when it comes to the extra processed food consumption. We started to now increase and have it at a basically way higher rate. And you got to think about the sodas too. Well, is that too, but you have to think about what we eat. And not only that, you have to also consider that back then, think about the industrial age. We were moving. Now we're getting into the computer age. Most people are not moving anymore. So they're working out a lot less. So think about it. Over time, over the years, if you're sitting on your ass more, you're eating more processed foods, they have to prep your brain to be accepting of this lifestyle. And it's going to take a while. So when you accepted that, it almost now is accepting to the point of someone being overweight. There was a girl who commented under my video talking about how she doesn't work out. Her justification was saying, I don't smoke, I don't drink, and I'm healthy. And I'm like, if you're overweight, what makes you think you're healthy? And if you don't work out at all, but her brain says that's normal, because she says in her family that everybody's overweight. So it's got to be normal. So you have to understand how crazy that actually is. But if you think about the times, and if no one really teaches you this stuff, that now becomes your new norm. So if your new norm is a low standard like that, that just shows, and we had a conversation about it, lets you know where we are in society. If society can literally be okay with a low standard, this is now going to affect not only your health, but this is going to affect your personal life, your relationships with people. This is going to affect, you trying to find real love. Like, you don't even love yourself like that. First of all, because if you have a low standard for yourself, that means you're going to have a low standard for everybody else around you, and expectation. This is how this hating comes in, this jealousy. And then you start to think about the stress that comes in that. And what happens when you are stressed out? Nowadays, There's a video right now saying about how a psychologist was talking about when you eat, that now atrophies your feeling of feeling depressed. So what that means is you start to feel less depressed the more that you eat. That promotes obesity. Think about 600-pound lifestyle. Every single time you look at 600-pound life, every single one of them say when they wake up, what do they feel? They feel in pain. So what do they do when they feel in pain? I feel better when I eat and eat and eat and eat. And what are they eating? Not like apples. They're not eating oranges. They're eating pizza, grease on grease, chicken wings, man, fast food. I'm gonna tell you where else they going. They going to Taco Bell. They going everywhere. Popeye's chicken. They going to Chick-fil-A. They eating them beans.
Most people don't. Greens, beans.
You like Taco Bell? I understand. No, I understand. When I was on my when I'm still doing plant-based, there is some foods from Taco Bell that you'd be okay on, but we're not gonna say that. But the long story short is, over time, shout out to Peter. She says it's the worms inside of them. Oh, that's another one. Parasites. That's a whole nother one right there. But he's actually talking real. This is what we talked about with the detox. You detox properly, you kind of flush out all these parasites in your body, which does play a role. That was a lot to break down, man. What you got to say about that, Kendall?
Yeah, that was pretty funny. What talking about Taco Bell and stuff like that. It's crazy how so many people don't realize that the food pyramid is wrong, right? How many people never realize that? Because we were talking about the 70s and things like that. I believe the food pyramid and that mindset you brought up, cereal came out in the 70s. A lot of people have no idea that that's completely wrong, and they have eat 6-7 meals of grains and stuff like that. Right. And this was the start of it. It's just all sugar, all glucose. Then you add in all the soft drinks and alcohol, and it's just a cacophony of fatness, effectively. But I think it was interesting what Kendra said, actually, because there is a small portion of epigenetics that I think does play a role in this. I see she got the food pyramid up. Yep. So I do think epigenetics does play a little bit of a role in why people think that Black people are more prone to being in shape, because we do pass down memories from generation to generation through epigenetics, which also causes us to be genetically predisposed to some things. I was thinking it's not just us either. Think of like an Eastern Europeans, how they get that big blocky neck and those thick arms that they get like that because they're used to working out in the cold and in the fields. Or think, how we say country boys, what I mean? Country boys are bigger. It's the same thing. They're getting that passed down, and then they're getting raised up in it as well. And they just come out stockier because they're being built for it. It's in their genes and it's in their upbringing. And I just want to say that we can do the same thing in reverse, because what's happening now, and I'm starting to see it, kids are obese. Kids are genuinely obese. And it's the same thing that's happening to them is their parents and their parents' parents grew up and were born in this era where fitness was going away, or it was just a fad, and these terrible foods became commonplace. And the death note, and what people need to realize is you're not healthy. You're not doing yourself any favor. You're not doing yourself a justice by not eating fast food. It's not just fast food. Right. The grocery store is killing a lot of you. Like, that has to be said. The grocery store is killing so many people. I remember when I tried with the beginning of my fitness journey is I tried the paleo diet, which I don't think is necessary, but it was beneficial because I was like, all right, I'm not eating nothing that comes out of a box. I'm not eating nothing that comes out of a can. I'm not eating nothing. I'm just eating greens and meats. I'm just eating fruits, vegetables, and meats. Whatever I can cook with that. And I would go through the grocery store and I look at my cart and my cart is just green, red, your peppers, onions, fruits, blah blah blah. It's a meat, and I'm looking over and I just see somebody's cart is full to the brim with boxes,
Doritos, freaking
with boxes and bags. Yep. And
yeah.
I'm like, see, that's what's killing you. And I'm looking at the jar of the pasta sauce. Every time somebody's like, "Oh, I made pasta last night," I was like, "Oh, really? Did you make the?" I was like, "Did you make the sauce?
Right.
Did you actually make it?" Nah, I didn't make it. I bought it. I'm like, yeah, that sauce is killing you. There's so much stuff in that sauce, preservatives and sugar. The grocery store is killing a lot of people. And this is what we're feeding to our children. And because of that, our children are already genetically predisposed to being overweight because their parents are. And then you add that in to their diet, and now you have overweight kids that have the sucky part is they're gonna have to do so much work to undo that.
100%.
So much work to undo that. They're gonna have to change their lives and undo it. But we can do it by just being healthy and passing that to our children.
Yes.
My daughter, I let my daughter have a Cheeto for the first time like a week ago. It's just like whatever. She was like, "What is this?" You know what I mean? I looked. I was like, "You know what? I'm glad that my daughter's 5. She don't even know what a Cheeto is. She has no idea.
You, man.
She had no idea what a Cheeto is." I was like, "All right, you can have these Cheetos." She had no idea what that was. And because of that, that type of eating is just abnormal to her. I've let her have like pizza occasionally, but if she was to see us cook, quote unquote, and just pour stuff out of boxes and cans and just throw stuff in the microwave, she'd be confused. She'd generally be confused. My daughter, if she wants to help make breakfast, she's gonna make eggs, she's gonna make oats, she's gonna cut apples, she's gonna cut fruits and vegetables, and that's what she knows. They see me work out, that's what they know. Hey, if they see Dad putting on athletic wear, hey Dad, you going running? You going running? That's all they.
That's what
versus so many people these days. So many people these days are putting on athletic gear just to go out in the world just because. Like, if I put on athletic gear, I'm about to sweat, right? Other people are just wearing it just to wear it. But my kids automatically are gonna think that this is normal, this is life, this is food, that's not food. Working out is just part of life every day. My son, he touches me and he goes, "You're hard, Daddy." I'm like, "Yeah, men are hard. Men are hard." And he's like, "Yeah, I'm hard. I'm hard too." Like, that's all he knows. You know what I mean? That's all he knows. He's only 2. So we can undo this, but we have to get going now. And that's really what it comes down to.
Well, you was dropping bombs. You was dropping bombs. That's what you call being a good father. That's what we're missing. Kids are missing that. That's why I say we can talk about epigenetics, but it comes and boils down to what we teach our children. It's what the men teach our kids, what the women teach our kids, and we have to combine this thing together and actually try to do what we can to make this thing work. Bro, I was raised up in the same similar light, bro. Like, when it comes to us, we worked out. That was a normal thing. We were out there, cooking. Like, we used to feed my granddad's chickens, bro. Like, literally, he had a farm, dog, like real one. Like, they used to come and pull greens out the garden. My grandma calling like, "Hey, come down and get these fresh potatoes out the garden. Come get these fresh greens." And it was the best you ever had. The best you ever had. They used to cut the chickens, man, and they used to cook the chickens, like literally growing them. And I actually grew up and got to experience it. These kids will probably never get to experience a lot of that stuff unless they grow up on the farm. But man, like, just the stuff that you're saying, like what you see, what you grow up with, that's kind of what you put into where you want to be as you get older. Time after time is something that you're just taught. So when I got to school, I realized that not everybody was taught and brought up the same exact way. Now, they also got different results, but it boils down to how they grew up, what they saw every day, what we were taught. And that's pretty much what fueled me and molded me into the guy I am today, on top of just dealing with life. But for the most part, my foundation came from my upbringing, how I was thinking. And even though I might have grown up in a different type of neighborhood, they grew up a certain way, and I grew up, similar to them, but at the same time, my foundation was different. So my path was over here. You know what I'm saying? And so that's what it boils down to. What we teach our kids, what we tell them to eat, and what they see. They learn. Kids learn from what they see. They 100% learn from what they see. But yeah, quick. And they'll ask you questions too, so you better know. So it ain't for play. Kids are probably some of the realest people you know. They'll tell you if your breath stink, like they do not care. They do not care. Oh, you smell bad. Why you smell bad? You gotta have an answer for it. You know what? Hey, I ain't put on deodorant today. Let me go throw something on. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, long story short, like these are just things that we should be doing anyway. But at the same time, if we teach our kids this, they'll be more aware of these things, right? And that's what kind of helps them grow up and be mature as an adult. You know what I'm saying? My mom had me growing up cleaning up early on the weekends, playing that, that R&B music. Every time I heard that music on Saturday morning, I knew it's time to grab a broom. It's time to get some bleach. It's time to get some Clorox. It's time to clean up. It's vacuum, like literally everything. Y'all, me and my brother, so we had a brother. So one of us would go outside and do the outside work. The other one be inside washing dishes, all this other stuff. And then next week we'll switch it. Then I'm outside cutting grass. I'm weed eating. He in there washing dishes, right? And it was just different things. And so I took that, and now even in my house, I'm doing the same thing. I'm like, yo, I got dishes to wash. I got to cook. I got to put stuff up. I got to dry everything. Man, these kids have no idea, man. I don't think a lot of them are getting raised that way, and that could be subjective. I could be wrong.
It's like, I don't think that what's being done inside the home is being changed. So like children still have chores. I don't think that's what's changed. I think that the way that food is viewed is what's been changed, especially for little girls. What I mean by that is you have little girls out here being taught that you have to eat a certain amount so that you can look a certain type of way instead of exercising to look a certain type of way, especially in the Black community, especially further south in the Black community. The further south you go, like my sister's thought process is the thicker you are, the better a man is going to be attracted to you.
That's terrible.
With that thought process it's like, so the fatter you are, the more likely I'm going to find a person that's going to love me.
Right.
That's basically what is being taught down in the South. That's what's being taught. So you can still do all the chores in the house. You can still take care of yourself, take care of the family, take care of all these things. But you are neglecting yourself because you're trying to fit an aesthetic based on what society is telling you is okay. And as a Black person, as a Black woman, I'm going to say this. As a Black woman, it's for us to be thick, for us to be enough for a man to handle us. You can't be too skinny. You can't be like a white girl. You can't be all this, the negative, whatever they want to say. And they associate being white as a way of being healthy, of being unhealthy, versus it being, I don't know how to explain it in that way to not try to go back and forth, but you have Black community telling you to overeat, and you have the white community telling you to undereat.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that you have to find a nice medium in between for you and your health based on what's better for you. If you want to have a certain aesthetic, that's completely fine, but do it in a healthy manner. If you want to be super skinny and do it, but do it in a healthy manner. Do it healthy. Don't starve yourself. Don't overeat. Don't do those types of things. But that's what's being taught. Like as a woman, that's what we're taught. We're taught to do those things to appease men. That's what we're taught as women. I'm gonna be completely honest. That's what we're taught. So based on your demographic and where you are, either you overeat so that you can fit a certain demographic, or you undereat so you can fit a certain demographic. And when it comes to different lifestyles and where you are in your current life, or how you're eating and how your family's raising you, or however your lifestyle is, at the end of the day, it's like, bro, like, I'm told that I need to overeat and be unhealthy, right? To be unhealthy so that I can be attractive. Or I'm told to undereat so I can be attractive. So as a woman, there is no perfect idea of where you need to be. For women, we have no idea. We don't know. Based on what we are attracted to, we may put ourselves in a certain demographic where you get all the BBLs from, where you get all the surgeries from, where you get all this extra stuff from. Now, if you go to the other side of the spectrum, you get all the Botox, all the lip injections, all the other shit. it goes both ways. So at the end of the day, it's like, when do we actually say what's healthy and what's not healthy?
I can answer that.
Damn shame.
We are taught to appease men.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
From day one to take care of a man. That's just what we are taught. Just like y'all are taught to not express yourselves, we're taught to appease a man. And appease a man can be either physically, sexually. It can be how we carry ourselves, how we speak, how we act. All those different things affect us as women.
Well, I think that's an actually separate topic on its own for real. So that's like more like relationship shit. But right. But that's what I was going to actually get to. So to the point of the food aspect of it, right? It brings confusion, but at the same time, it's like a lot of that stuff is taught. You know what I'm saying? Like, even though I was raised up a certain way, I was taught there is healthiness when it comes to food. I'm gonna give you an example. My grandma used to, like, let's say if I went and scraped my leg, right? So, boys, we outside playing football. We scrape stuff all the time. I go in the house, my grandma, she giving me apples and stuff. I'm like, Grandma, why you give me apples? She's like, because it helps you heal. So she gave me a purpose when it comes to food. So you eat certain food for a specific reason. And the reason for it is to be healthy. So if you want to have certain abilities or increase your certain abilities, there's probably something that you can eat or drink that can help you out, or there's something that you can detox from. So, for example, if you had a lot of bumps on your face back in the day, our parents said, you're drinking too many sodas. Stop drinking sodas, drink some water. So there was a result for what it is that you ate. And a lot of that I knew only because of what I was told, but number two, I could actually see it for myself. So they weren't lying to me. They were being honest. And, if you eat certain foods, you have better quality teeth. If you're eating a bunch of junk and stuff and just not getting it out, it's so many different things, and that it can be taught is my point. So if people are confused because they're being lied to, they're only confused because of what society lies. So society lies to women every day. Hell, women lie to themselves every day. They go out and even guys, sometimes they mess around and put these dudes wearing a hat and be scared to show their hairline because it's receding. I'm like, bro, no. If you scared, bro, cut it. You know what I'm saying? Or like embrace it. You know what I'm saying? That's just, it's the truth. You know what I'm saying? People just need to just stop being, just stop being pussies. Just be a real one. And don't be afraid to just be who you are. And that's what's going to help bring more reality to your lifestyle. So you're not just being okay with being lied to. We all know it's bad to go and eat McDonald's every freaking day. We know it's bad to not work out every day. This is something you can look up right now. So everybody who is confused or whatever like that, no, you know the truth. It's just about accepting the truth and being taught properly. And I agree. I think people just been lied to a lot. They're going to go through hell, but they'll eventually learn the hard way, or they're going to learn from being wise by taking wise counsel and doing what is needed to be done. It's so many, because I was so stubborn as a kid. I'd do whatever. I had to just bump my head a few times for me to learn it. But I also took heed to wise words. I was around a lot of granddads. I was around a lot of uncles that had done things and said, listen, this ain't what you want. This is the path you want to go. So when I started to listen to them, I started to realize the people that didn't had different results. I know boys that went to jail and they in and out of jail, but it's the choices that they decide to make. And we all kind of knew and brought up the similar way, but it's who chose to listen to what. So bringing it back to the fitness thing, when it comes to food, it's about the truth. We know the truth is Whole Foods is where it's at. I personally was raised up on Whole Foods because, like I gave the example about eating apples for a specific healing factor. It's different foods for different reasons. We know oranges have vitamin C, and just these are just basic knowledge things that we should understand. But at the same time, these are things that are taught. And well, I'm saying it is taught, meaning that you learn from it, because as kids, I didn't know it until A, someone told me, but B, the other example was I actually felt it. I knew what it was because I seen the results. When I stopped drinking sodas, I stopped getting bumps on my face. So even though I was told that, I seen it too. So I believed it. So I looked and done the research. I seen the facts, and I also done it myself. Same thing when I went plant-based. Even though I looked it up, it doesn't mean it's true. I had to go and do the research myself and actually try it out. So when I can actually prove it by having the results and show a before, show an after, it goes to wise counsel. Whatever I got the information from that said this was going to happen and actually happened, that it proves itself as reality. So I'm not speaking about something that I'm just being told and I don't really haven't tested it. Like I will test it on myself first and tell you, like, there's proof after proof. We know if you're in a caloric deficit, you're going to lose weight. We understand if you're in a caloric intake, you're going to gain weight. That's just the numbers game. So we can prove that by showing you if you eat this much amount of foods, this is how many calories you're going to get. So when it comes to food, yes, you're going to look a certain way if you have an increase or an intake in caloric intake. That could be good or bad. It's how you do it. But the point is you have to inform yourself with the knowledge and actually do it. And that's the reality. What is that though? You have to be taught that first to even know it. So because sometimes we're not ignorant. We don't know what we don't know. If you don't know it, you wouldn't know it. So going and seeking that information first. So if you're not taught it, you can go and learn it. So either way, if you aren't taught initially, you can go and find it and still get taught it. So you're still going to have to learn it some kind of way. And at that point, when you're informed, once you know better, you do better. Now you can apply it to your life. So it starts with these kids. Kids aren't going to know. We have to teach them. You can't just throw a kid out in the world and expect them to just know shit. They're not going to know shit. They have to teach. They have to be taught first. They have to be tested because kids are very stubborn, but they are learning as they grow, which is why they're not an adult until 18. They got to go through ups and downs. They got to ask questions. So it's good for parents to teach them properly too, and good parents to teach them the truth. Not be lying to them. Good parents know society's bullshit. We need to teach these kids. Bro, you know you got kids, so you understand what I'm saying. Yeah, for real. And I'll get to your point too. What I'm saying is, and I did the same thing too. So when I started to rebel, life was kicking my ass. And then my parents like, well, I told you this. And I'm like, damn, you know what? Y'all was right. And I started to listen more, but it taught me something. The point is life taught me, but I also listened to wise counsel. And it started with that same thing when it comes to the food. They taught that same thing to me. They always told me fresh food out the garden is always better than the grocery store. In a real way. Sure. Go ahead.
Absolutely. So all I have to say is this. Speaking from my clients, the clients that I have, who were not taught healthy food thought process, and that's most of my clients.
Yeah.
Most of my
I think that's
Americans
Americans.
were not taught to eat an apple and it helps you do what you need to do. Most of my clients were not taught to eat certain greens and drink certain teas and to eat use cloves on your mouth when you have a cold sore in your mouth or you have a sore tooth. They were not taught.
Well, they got cold sore. They got something else.
So, and that's the thing as adults, because a lot of those same adults
Get it, wrap it up.
go into life thinking that their parents taught them everything that they needed to know about their food, which is why a lot of adults, the average American, which is why people that go to the gym are the 1% of the economy, is because a lot of people are taught the unhealthy behaviors, and they're taught the unhealthy behaviors, and they're deemed to seem normal, and they are deemed to seem normal. So when I tell somebody, you eat how many calories a day? You eat 2,500 calories a day, and you're 110 pounds. You're eating enough for somebody that's probably about maybe 5'7", maybe 5'8", 5'9", and you're 5'2".
Overeating.
You're overeating and you're overweight. So you're looking at me. Why am I gaining weight? You're eating too many calories. Well, how am I eating too many calories? I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, I eat dinner, I have snacks in between. You're eating too much food. If you want to get scientific with this.
Scientific.
Okay,
it's late. I get you. You ain't had the coffee yet. I got you. I got you back.
Scientific with it. You want to get scientific. Technically, as a human being, if you're not trying to gain weight, if you're not trying to lose weight, if you're trying to keep and maintain a healthy weight, you're only supposed to eat when your body is hungry, when your body is telling you that it needs to eat. Okay? If you are trying to gain muscle, then you need to eat more. You need to eat more protein to gain that muscle to change the body, the dynamic of what you have. If you're trying to lose weight, you need to eat less than that. Eat less calories than what you are burning. So a lot of people don't realize what they're eating has calories. What they're eating doesn't have enough protein. What they're eating doesn't have enough healthy fats. What they're eating is not necessarily giving the nutritional value of what they want for their lifestyle or what they're trying to accomplish. So that is one thing that I have learned just dealing with different people outside of my own mother, who was a nutritionist growing up. Yeah, you got
shout out to your moms.
Oreos and the Cheeto Puffs and the freaking gummy bears and all the chewy bars in my house one random day because you took one course. You took one course and you realize all of this is toxic. You realize all of this, you can't pronunciate a lot of the stuff that's in there. And half the time when you can't pronunciate anything that's in the foods, it's probably
the
not
crazy ingredients.
Not ingested. And what is the most recent study? The most recent study is Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A has the same chemicals as gasoline.
I seen that video.
So you're eating gasoline and the same stuff that you're putting in your car, and we're healthy because we use peanut oil. We're healthy. We're healthier. We're a healthier option. Yes, it may be a healthier option because it may not be as preserved as McDonald's or Taco Bell or Jack in the Box or whatever else that is out there. But at the end of the day, if somebody is not taught what nutrition actually is, and they're shown that pyramid that we just talked about, and they're shown that pyramid is false, and we all know that. That pyramid is created by the FDA, which the FDA is associated with the CDC.
Yeah, we already know.
CDC, whatever you want to call it, whatever the fuck, I can't think of what the abbreviations are for them right now. But because they're all connected to profit, they're all connected to big business.
Almighty dollar.
That's what they're all prophesized. But I would rather you not pay attention to what's actually healthy for you and say, hey, these are the foods you need to eat, pay attention more to. Is at the bottom of the pyramid, right? You need to eat more bread, more grains, more pasta. That's not accurate. We all know that. So you mean to tell me I need to eat more bread and more pasta, that I need to eat more fruits and vegetables?
Right. That's what they were taught.
Eat more cheese and dairy and protein.
Yeah,
and
that's
less
crazy.
of that, then I need the grains and pasta. That's not accurate at all. So you mean to tell me you want me to be fat before I have any type of nutritional value to my body to help me either grow or to be beneficial? Which is why you have all of these teenagers, these young teenage women, these young teenage boys that have high estrogen levels that are kind of fluctuating, which is why you have all this
soy boys.
Why you have all this kind of like rage coming from, because it's a lot of estrogen in these types of foods.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Estrogen. It's not testosterone. It's estrogen.
Shout out to Tanya. She actually had a good quote. She says, "Let thy food be thine medicine, and let thine medicine be thine food." Hey man, shout out to Tanya. She definitely did. These comments are rolling in. This shit crazy, dog. Shout out to boy, man. He says, I'm already cutting as it is. Right now, I'm at 19% body fat at 6'1". Shout out to my dog, Jabari, from the Jabari tribe.
That's all it is. It's the way that the government is kind of pushing the way that the food needs to be like recognized. And a lot of people don't realize what is true and what needs to be done to actually be healthy. They're going based off of a food pyramid that's been taught to us since second grade.
Yeah, that's why they need to listen to this show. That way they can get to this game. Shout out to games.
But it's not even just the show. It's not even just.
Gotta get more greens. Starting back on my fruits.
Everybody has a smartphone.
That's facts.
Everybody has some type of technology in their hand that they have access to right now, and everyone has access to YouTube University. If you have access to YouTube University, all that means is you are able to educate yourself beyond what your parents were able to teach you.
That's right. That's why I need to watch this show.
If you can educate yourself beyond what your parents are able to teach you, what is
quinoa is rich in protein.
You are unhealthy or in a realm of where you have to take medication. Like the other day,
hold on, Kendra. Let me answer this question real quick. So, gang, yes, quinoa is I'm not gonna say it's rich in protein, but it has more protein than like rice, for example. So out of the complex carbs, quinoa has probably one of the most richest. Now, there are grains out there that actually have more protein. So if you ever tried an African grain, it's called amaranth. Amaranth has a lot more protein, as well as kamut. So kamut and amaranth both have more rich protein in their grains over quinoa. So quinoa, you need to eat a lot of to get that like 8 grams of protein. I think it's like a cup, maybe a cup and a half or a cup, but you can look it up. But long story short, amaranth actually has way more protein. So if you can go to like a Whole Foods or even go to like Amazon, yeah, you can order that and you'll get way more protein that way. It says got to have fat for healthy hormone imbalances. That's true. Getting single digit lean for the term. Shout out to Hero that says facts. 10% is tough to get. And big arms, slight abs is fine. Nobody needs 10%. I think I'm like at 11. But again, I got a show coming up, so a little bit different. So Geraldo says, how much weight gain per month? I'm not really sure what that means, how much weight gain per month. If you're trying to gain weight, I think a healthy weight gain would probably be maybe a pound to a pound and a half a week to keep it on you. You don't want to gain too much too quick, but I'm gonna also logistically say on the opposite end, you don't want to lose weight too quick because it's hard to keep it off. So same way you gain is the same way typically you want to lose on average. So you want to lose on average about a pound and a half to 2 pounds a week consistently to keep off, or you have a better chance of keeping off that weight. Shout out to Gang says flooding your body with sugar through Twinkies is a very bad idea. I agree. Even though you can lose weight by tracking, eventually you become insulin resistant or you get diabetes. Insulin will be overwhelmed. I totally agree. Barry says, remember, you can't spot reduce. That's 100% facts. Shout out to Jenny says, I'll never forget Kobe's story about the girl in the disgusting women's restroom and her throwing up in her hair getting carried out. That was a funny story, by the way. There was a girl who got so lit at the bar, bro. She threw up like in the bathroom, but not only that, she went number 2 on herself in the bathroom. It was so bad, bro. We had to call the fire department to come get this lady. That's not even the worst part. The fire department went in there with gloves on. One guy carried her out by her legs. The other one got behind her and carried her up by her underarm so they could just like walk her out. Man, this lady was so down bad, her wig came off, dog. And her friend like went and grabbed the wig and like she's trying to like hide her face so that way like nobody can see her face. Clearly she's embarrassed, man. And then her friend came right behind her. Hey, I got your wig, girl. I was like, oh Lord, it was so embarrassing. She had to, it was bad. It was so bad. Shout out to Jenny. She says Kobe's giving us all facts about cereal, GMO, looking back on some of the old live episodes. Yeah, I've been preaching this for like years, y'all. Shout out to Gang says, when you eat's like a dopamine hit, which can eventually lead to an addiction. You got to watch out for it. Hey, that's real. He says, man, one of my coworkers was about to get one of them Zaratan's frozen meals for lunch. You remember them? I think it's called Zatarans. That's right. Them Zataran meals. Showed him the back of the ingredients, and boy, it was long as a Nile River. Hey, the way it is. Shout out to Brown Ball. He says, God forbid you tell someone to get it together and watch them say you're acting white. Fitness and eating healthy knows no race and knows no gender. Man, you preaching, Brown Ball. He says, Kobe, that's facts. He says a lot of parents lie to their kids about Santa Claus, the Tooth Fairy, and the Easter Bunny, but won't tell them the truth about the real world that really matters. Dang, that's a real life. It says if Chick-fil-A is so healthy, then so is Cookout. What the F? The food is high in sodium and fat. That's real. That's real. I remember, man, who told me that Chick-fil-A was unhealthy? And I didn't believe him because I was like in high school. Everybody was eating Chick-fil-A. I think it was my coach. My coach was like, y'all eating Chick-fil-A? You might as well just eat a Big Mac. I was like, Coach, no, it's different. He said, no, it's all fake. I'll never forget when he said that. He said, it's all fake. You might as well just eat the trash if you're going to eat the trash. Either that or eat healthy. And he was big on just whole foods. He was big on cooking and all the other stuff. So
it's funny because it's like McDonald's will kill you or Chick-fil-A will kill you. McDonald's might just kill you quicker, but they both gonna kill you.
They both gonna get you.
That's the part that people is like, oh, we're healthier. Oh, that just means you're just not gonna kill me as quick as the other one will. That's all.
It's sad, man. It's the sad reality, man. And that's when Kendra was talking about it, man. Like we have to really we have to do better and teach these people, but we need to go out and find the information too. Like we know if we are out of shape like that, we need to know what to do. We know, go get a personal trainer, go get your nutritionist, eat whole foods. Like this is just basic knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And it's pretty much out here where enough people should know this shit. You know what I'm saying? And even keep
I got a public service announcement on my fault.
Wait, no,
fault.
go ahead. You got it.
I got a public service announcement for the women that I was thinking about when Kendra was speaking. I think she hopped off the live, but I hope she hears this. She mentioned that there's no health standard for women outside of what they think a man wants. Well, there is the health standard. And one thing I truly believe in is restoring the natural order, right? What makes you a woman is your ability to have children. That's what makes you a woman.
Talk to them.
The body fat percentage best for childbearing and childbirth is in the high 20s to 30%. That's how healthy a woman needs to be to have children. That's how healthy a woman needs to be, period.
Say that percentage range one more time. Say it for the people in the back.
They need to know. 28 to 30%. Because at that point, if you're too skinny as a woman, you're gonna have a hard time with childbirth. You're gonna have a hard time with pregnancy. If you're too overweight, it's an issue, and it's even worse. You're gonna have things like diabetes in the tracks, and you might end up, I'm not even gonna speak the negatives that might happen with your child. But at the end of the day, you can't be overweight, and if you're too skinny, you might not even be able to get pregnant. So that 28 to 30% range is perfect for a woman to have children. That's the right amount of fat on you. You're just the right amount of supplements. I'm gonna take my personal preference and how I like my women out of it, how I like my wife out of it, right? Yeah. I think women should have some suppleness and some softness to you. That body fat percentage, 28 to 30, you will not be large. You cannot be large at that percentage as a woman. It's equivalent to like 20% on a man. You will not be large, but you will have the right amount of fat on you to be your healthiest when you have children. And as a woman, there should be nothing more important than that. In my personal opinion, there should be nothing more important than being healthy and having healthy children. That's the body fat percentage you need to be at. That's all you need to care about if you're a woman, if you ask me.
You dropping gems right now, man. Yo, if y'all didn't really pick up what he's saying, you gotta be fit before you get pregnant. So where you know if you can gain that, because when you get pregnant, you're gonna naturally eat. You're gonna just naturally gain body fat percentage, right? And so that is your body's way of telling you, yes, we have to be a certain, like you said, fat percentage, weight, whatever, to be able to bear this child, which is what I was talking about earlier. There's different body parts of fat percentage that's going to increase on a woman naturally. Why? Because they're designed for it. They're designed to carry these kids. So God knew what he was doing with these women. And that's kind of where it boils down to. Same thing for our men. If you guys are in a decent BMI, I promise y'all, you will not be overweight. The problem is they eat too many calories. It's just too much. And these processed foods is just telling on themselves. I know for a fact they are out here eating too much, and I know they're drinking. They go to brunch every Sunday, and you know those mixed drinks, 600, 700 calories at minimum, and you're having multiple. Not on top of that, you're getting shots, and I know you ain't eating healthy. You're getting chicken and waffles. I mean, god dang, like you know what they do. I hear it all the time at the bar. When they leave from drinking all day, you know where they go? I'm gonna go get a pizza. Matter of fact, no, I'm gonna go to cookout and go to fast food. You're packing on calories, and you wonder why you feel so sluggish when you wake up in the morning. It's like, man, come on, y'all. Like, it's a real thing. Like they think this is normal, and that's the problem. They don't realize that is what's causing them to be so unhealthy and having too many calories to intake. That's not a natural thing.
And you made a good point about waking up sluggish. It doesn't necessarily mean every day you're gonna jump out of bed, but on the regular, when the sun rises, shortly after that, you should just naturally be awake. Just naturally, I'm awake. I'm not that sleepy anymore. My sleep is done. Especially if you went to sleep at a good time, you got a good sleep routine, you're eating well, you're hydrated. You'll just naturally wake up and feel. It take you a minute. You drink some water, you feel ready for the day. You shouldn't wake up like, I need my coffee, blah, blah, blah. You need caffeine, which is a drug to wake you back up. You shouldn't even need all that. If you like coffee, you like coffee. But to say that you need it
That's a
just to
difference.
wake up, that's
Yeah.
a big difference. That's a big
That's actually
difference.
a sign. If you wake up feeling like you need something to wake up, you didn't rest well. You probably didn't eat right.
Yep.
You're probably not getting the proper hydration, intake, high fruits. I'm a big advocate, man. Go get some coconut water. You have to. I think we have to overhydrate. Like just H2O is fine, but we have to overhydrate considering how much we work so much, and a lot of people are not getting the sleep that like they need. And sleep is a good way to get your energy back too. Most of us lack. And I mean, just good Lord, I hear it all the time from clients. It's like, man, you coming to the gym? I'm so tired. I'm like, why? I have been at work all day. We all go to work all day. What do you mean?
Exactly.
Like it's 4 o'clock in the freaking afternoon. It's the sun is out. Why? Oh, I'm just so tired from working. I'm like, yeah, but what's your sleep look like? Oh, I go to bed. I get about 5 hours. Oh, that's why you're depriving your body. And you're probably not drinking enough water. And I know they're not because they always tell me how much they drink. I'm like, you're not getting your gallon and a half to 2 gallons a day. Like, I know this. They don't
I'm glad you said that.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said 1.5 gallons to 2 gallons because most people think all they need is a gallon because that's what's put out is a gallon of water.
Yeah.
But it's more than that, especially if you're exercising. If you're exercising, especially, you need even more water than what's prescribed. So I'm glad you mentioned that. And if people definitely aren't hydrated like they should be, and that's definitely killing them. What the other issue with people is when they think I treat the word tired like a bad word. I refuse to say it, right? I will refuse to say it. If I'm sleepy, I say that I'm sleepy. That's different. But I'll never say that I'm tired because I always believe I have all the energy I need to do anything I need to do at any given point in time. And I say that to say most people are not tired. It's lethargy. They're not out of energy. Their mind is asleep. Their life is boring. There's no activity. They don't get up for anything, right? When I say get up, I mean like get amped up. They don't get excited for anything. So their energy is always their mind is always low. So they feel like, I'm tired. Like, no, you're not actually tired. You're just not excited about anything. You don't have to, you don't get yourself going about anything. You have no passion. Therefore, your body is not triggering yourself to do anything, right? Think of it this way. How crazy is it? You work out. I'm sure you lift heavy. You ever realize that on 2 different days you might not be able to lift the same amount of weight?
Oh, absolutely.
Exactly, right? It happens all the time. Why? Because you're not amped for it that day. Your mind, you didn't pump the adrenaline, you didn't get up for it. So people be surprised on how mental their life really is. It's like, no, you're not tired. You're just not amped up. You don't have anything to look forward to in your life. You haven't programmed yourself to go to the gym. Therefore, you feel like you can't. I hear just somebody I was talking to today was like, oh, he was arguably oversleeping. He said, I can't get up at 7 a.m. I just can't. I'm like, nah, you could do whatever you want to do, man. Right. Like you could do whatever you want to do.
Why can't he not do it? Like, how could you
right? Right. Like I remember there was a time
he doesn't want to do it. Like which one?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Like for me, if I know that if I plan something for early in the morning and it's exciting to me, like there was this one time where I was like, oh, I'm gonna go on Instagram Live and I'm gonna do 100 burpees at 5:30 in the morning, just whatever. And just because I set that plan, my body got right up at 5 o'clock. You're just up. I was like, oh, all right, I'm really doing this.
Do it now.
Because I got to do it now. I'm up. Yeah. I'm not sleepy. I'm not nothing. My body was excited. I programmed myself and I was ready for it. And people don't realize that subconscious suggestion is important, man. So get that in your head and your body will respond. It has to. It has to.
I could do a whole show about that. I you know what? I might have to do that next week, man. I gotta get you back on, bro. Because I'm telling you, we think so much alike. Y'all don't realize. I don't think y'all really took in what he is actually saying. Like we talked about this about men's health awareness last week, and me and Kendra had this. We were having a conversation, and a lot of the things that guys are having issues with is the fact that they don't have any, like, they don't have a passion to do nothing, just lazy, don't want to do anything. I'm like, well, they're doing that because they have no type of drive. There's no purpose in their life. They have nothing to look forward to. They have nothing to wake up to. I'm like, there's so much to wake up to, but the fact that they program themselves, what he just said, basically what he's saying, y'all, fellas, have a reason to get your ass up. Like literally decompress at night. And I do this on myself. At night, I will put my phone on the charger and put it on my desk, which is away from my bed. I don't even want to look at my phone. I have a book that's sitting on my bed. I will have to finish that book, right? And I decompress and I close the book. I will literally tell myself the next day, hey, listen, I got 2 projects I got to complete. I really got about 15, but I'm going to say I'm getting like 2. I'm going to say I'm going to finish these 2 tomorrow. And I'll tell myself that, like, I'm not saying I hope I finish it. I'm saying I must finish these 2 projects tomorrow. And it tells my brain, oh, then we better get up and get prepared, right? And so it's a purpose for me to wake up and do something. And you tell your body enough of that type of rhetoric, you start to listen to yourself and you get your body amped up naturally. Like I woke up, I was ready. I said, I'm doing this. Man, I got up and I actually did it. And you know what happens when you accomplish something? You should celebrate. And like I said, this is a whole separate topic, but the point of it is your energy comes from what you tell yourself and what you really feed yourself. You have to get your body and blood moving. Even if you feel tired when you get up in the morning, I just tell people, listen, go work out. Go do a jog outside, you dig? Force that blood to move because that's what's going to wake you up. If your blood is moving, you have no choice but to wake up. That's why people get so tired when they have low iron. Low iron means your blood's not pushing through the way it needs to push. How do you force that? Get your heart pumping, because what does your heart do? It pumps the blood throughout your body, carries the blood cells. We don't have to get scientific, but the main thing about it is it wakes you up in the morning. They don't think about this stuff. Do some burpees like you just said. Get up and do like 100 burpees. You'll wake up. Your body gonna have to wake up, do 100 burpees. You dig? Especially that early. And so drinking your water, and I mean, good Lord, I even drink warm water sometimes just to have an extra warmth to help push that blood through. And think about people that are sedentary. They just sitting. When you sitting down, your blood's not moving. That's why they sluggish and they feel like they need some sugar or some type of caffeine because they're sitting, they're sluggish, they're sedentary, they're not moving, and their body's used to not moving. So their body's only going to do what it needs to do for what you want to have done. Meaning if your job is just to sit there, your body's only going to have and give you enough energy just to sit there, which means it's going to actually give you less than what you actually need. You really need a lot. So that's why it's important and necessary for us to work out so we can get our bodies used to this. Man, you broke that thing down perfectly, man. I just wanted to just congratulate you on that. If y'all didn't take notes on that, y'all probably should have took some notes because that shit was real. Shout out to Brown Baldy, man. He says, I'm not gonna lie, this is all facts. I agree. Especially the older a woman gets, it's a high-risk pregnancy. They definitely got to take care of themselves. That's 100% facts. Brown Baldy says, I lost a daughter 10 years ago. I'm sorry to hear that, brother, because the mom, an ex, wasn't taking care of herself. I'm going to leave that right there. Women, ladies, hear me well. Taking care of yourselves goes past. First of all, taking care of yourself as a woman actually saves families. This saves families. This saves generations. You already, let's look at, just read that over and over. Lost a daughter 10 years ago because the mom and ex was not taking care of herself. Legacy has ended because of someone who did not take care of themselves. Ladies, if y'all really want to push this whole legacy like y'all say, take care of yourself. Not just for yourself, but yes, for yourself, but for your future kids, your man, because we all love women who take care of themselves. It's a high character trait, something we look for long term, because long term, we want someone to take care of themselves so we can push that to our children, because every man wants healthy kids. Having both of the parents that are there, happy and healthy, does something to the kids because, bro, what did Kendall just say? When the kids see that, they learn that quick. So when you see a happy, healthy mom, a happy, healthy dad, it teaches the kid probably should be happy and healthy. And then the kid is going to look for, when they get old enough to start being romantic with someone, what are they going to see? I want what my parents had, happy and healthy. So you're now going to cut a generational curse, and all you got to do is something as simple as take care of yourself. Come on, man. I don't think they got that. They better get it though. If they haven't, go back and rewatch this shit like 5 times. You dig? Yeah. That shit's wild, man. Shout out to Gang says that's why a dude who loves his woman will tell her to take care of herself because he wants her to have a good quality life. And I know my dog Gaines is married, man. So I already know you know what you're talking about, big dog. Yeah. This was a great episode, man. I think we should do this shit again, bro. I gotta have you back on because I mean we broke down so much, it just gave me ideas of what to talk about next week.
I'd love to.
That's facts. We'll get it in, man. But y'all, man, we're gonna go ahead and end this show, man. I really appreciate everybody for hopping in on the show, man. Kendall, you was an amazing guest, man. Any last thoughts or any last words, man, before we get up out of here?
Yeah, man. I would just say this was a really valuable show, and anybody who's watching
Appreciate it.
or rewatching, pay attention to the subtleties. Kendra also brought up a lot of good stuff, but it really boils down to whatever you're into. When people get into something, they get into the nuance and the details, right? You might like a show, you might like Harry Potter, you might like Lord of the Rings, you might like Star Wars or something. And you know all the little details about Star Wars, you know all the little details about some book series. But do you know that about yourself? Do you know that about your health? Why don't you? It's all you really have. And that's really one thing that I really want people to remember is get to know yourself and your body the same way you know that random thing that you're into or whatever you do for work. You know everything about your job. Know everything about your body. It'll do everything for you.
That's bars. That's bars, man. I'll it's not really much to add on top of that, man. But I will just say this, man. Like, I agree. You got to know yourself and put that into action. Once you know who you are, be you. Be authentic. Be your best self. Because once you learn your best self, now you got to show the world your best self. It's one thing to know it, but it's another thing to be it. Literally, live it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to be who you are. And that, what you're saying, I'll leave this last story. Matter of fact, I'll just leave this last topic. So what I do is I journal. I journal about what I go, meaning how I'm feeling at certain times, right? So I'll journal before I go to bed. You know, what did I do today? How did I do it, right? And I try to compare it to like what I do because I try to do 1% better every single day. 1% better every day, you'll have a 37% chance of being a better person at the end of the year. And even probably higher than that if you compound it, right? So I try to do my part, and other days are better than others. I'm not saying I'm consistent, but I'm doing my part. But long story short, when I do this, I tend to have better results because I start to pay more attention about how I'm being as a person because there's things that I know about myself. One thing, first and foremost, I'm very self-assured. I have the best and 100% confidence in everything that I do. I don't care what it is, but I also have to learn that there are things I need to watch out for too. With me having such a high confidence in myself, I will take a risk like it ain't nothing. So I got to be aware to make sure I'm not falling into a trap, so I have to make sure my strategies are well put. So I have to increase my awareness a lot of times and also seek wise counsel, which is half the reason why I did much better when I was just around wise people. And so just these things I kind of learned about myself. But my point is I have to do this in action every single day and be intentional about it, to be self-aware. And so long story short, it just made me better about who I am. And it made me more proud of who I am. I think when people start to realize how great they are, everybody's unique. Every single person is unique. Once they realize the potential about themselves, they will be so great. I tell dudes all the time, man, like, bro, you don't realize how great you are. You don't know how freaking amazing you are. And for people and for men to get treated and getting dogged out by girls, I'm like, bro, how? You are a king, my boy. What is you can't let bro, there's no way. You cannot hearken to that. The only thing you hearken to, man, you pray first and foremost, man, and seek wise counsel with wise men and really find out who you are so you can produce the best self because this world needs great people. We're in a world of demons right now. You see what's going on. The society's lying to you. I mean, all kinds of wars going on. We know what's going on. So it's going to take a certain level of man. But my point is that certain level of man, you have to be authentic, know your strengths, and just be the best of who you are. You know what I'm saying? And actually do it. Learn knowledge of yourself, but just do it too. Be it. Be authentic. So I'll leave my last words to that one for sure. Brown Body says that was a great show. Keep in mind the ex was an alcoholic too. See, that's crazy. See, ladies, just take care of yourself. Man. I'll say that.
That's sad.
It is sad, man. We're gonna get up out of here, man. I appreciate y'all. When we're faced with an obstacle, you know what we do. We rise and we rise.